Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working through the ABRSM Theory Grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They're available to download in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time when you're actually working through your exam paper on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And so now we're going to carry on with the paper B of the 2017 practice papers. So if you turn with me to page 11, and we're going to have a go at question 3. So this is our transposition question, and so you need to have a good grasp on your key signatures. So it's helpful always for this paper to have your key signatures written out so that you know your major and minor key signatures. That's your circle of fifths. If you want to see how to do that, there's a video and the link is in the description below that I'll show you how to do that. And so we're asked to write this melody down a major second so that we see how it will sound at concert pitch for this transposing instrument. And we got to put in the new key signature, add in any accidentals that we need to as we go along, and move everything down a second. So we start off by working out the key signature. So at the moment we're in G major. Now it may well be that you're in E minor or any other key, however the accidentals will take care of themselves as we work along. So it's just easier to start by thinking what major key you're in. So this is in G major. And if we're going to go down a major second, we're going down from G to F. So we're now going to be moving down into F major. And so F major has a key signature of B flats. And then of course we need our time signature. And so I'm just going to get this all mapped out, so get all the nuts and bolts in place. Just get a bar lines and keep everything aligned. I know they've given us 2 lines, but 1 line is sufficient, and that way we can keep all of our note heads aligned with theirs, and then we won't get lost and we can keep a clear idea of where we're going. There's going to be enough to think about without worrying about which note we're on. I suppose if you were really struggling, you could cross them out as you went along, but if we keep everything aligned, that shouldn't be necessary. So we're moving everything down a step. So here, that's the A. So we need to go down a step to the G. So everything's going to be going next door down. So this will go down to the C. And keep everything reasonably in place. So that's the F. Now dot that. Now this is going to the A. Now here, that's a B natural that's been flattened, it's been lowered. This is an A natural, and so we need to lower that a semitone, so that becomes a flat also. So down a step takes us to F. Dot that. Down a step. Now here, that's an F sharp in the key signature that's been lowered by a natural. Now at the moment this is an E natural, and so we need to lower that by adding a flat. So here, this is a D natural at the moment. This was an E natural, not affected by the key signature, that's been lowered by a semitone to a flat. So this is a D natural, we need to lower that by a semitone, so we'll need to flatten that. That becomes a B, that becomes a D. So you can see we've gone back to where we started. There's a double check. Down a step. So down so that becomes an A. Now that's in the key signature in the original, that's a B natural that's been lowered by a flat, so we need to lower this by a semitone, so it's A natural, not affected by the key signature, and so we lower that and that becomes a flat. Back to the C, you can see we've come back to where we started. Oh, that went a bit off. Down a step, dot that, down a step, back up to the B. Down a step from this one takes us to the G, dot that, that becomes the E, that becomes a C, that becomes a C, and then that becomes an F, and we'll dot that. So that's the thinking done. Now we've got to just add all the bits and bobs, so stems and so on, exactly as they have. We may find that we need to adjust the stem going up or down now that we've moved things around a little bit. So these are stems that go down here, but these are going to have to come up because these two require to be below the middle line. This one's ruled out because it's the odd one out, it's outvoted, although that needs to come down, and also this one's further away, so it needs it most. That's how you decide. These can come down. These can come down. We're beginning and ending in the same place. Beginning and ending in the same place. Use this rule as much as you need to keep it neat and tidy. So really, these two can go either way, but this one needs the stem to go up, so we're going to have to change the direction of the stems for that. Now that we've moved it down, that one step down just makes all the difference. There we go, and then that's that. So there we go, that's that one done. So let's move on to the next question. So if we move on to page 12, and we're back to referring to this piece of music. So we're going to need to keep a finger on that page to keep coming back to this extract. So the first part of this is answering the last few performance directions. So we know that this means playful or joking. So if you've done your revision, that shouldn't be too obscure a term. So it's just learning those, just a matter of revision really. Let's now look at the next one. We need to add correct rest or rest. This is the important bit here at the place marked with a star in bar 8 to complete the bassoon part. So this is the bit that we need to complete. And so we can see that we're in compound time, and so we always need to be reflecting that in the way that we beam things or the way that we add rests. Every new beat needs a new rest. So first of all, we need to finish this rest off, and we need to do that by adding two separate quaver beats, 2/8 notes. We can have that followed by that, because that easily shows the dotted crotchet, but you couldn't have that followed by that. Oh, let me just show you so you can see that. Sorry, I was off screen then. So that is acceptable. We can have a full beat rest, like a full crotchet rest with a quaver, because that definitely shows the dotted crotchet beat, but you couldn't have it afterwards. We have to have two separate ones there. So if in doubt, just use separate ones there. However, that first compound beat is now complete, and so the second can just be shown in one quick swoop. There we go. So let's move on to the next question, but keep that to hand so you can see it. And so now we're going to the next bit. So we're going to describe some chords in the piano part, and we need to say which chord, and we also need to show which position it's in. Now they've helpfully told us that we're in E minor, and so we can just get all of the thinking done straight away. So we need to know what chords 1, 2, 4 and 5 will be. And so if we're in E minor, chord 1 will begin on E. Chord 2 will become on F, E, F, G. A is chord 4 and B is chord 5. So we need to work out the triads. If you find that difficult counting, just use a visual clue there. Give yourself a piano keyboard. So first, third, fifth, E, G, B, F, A, C, A, C, E, B, D, F. And then we need to look at the root position, which is A, or just the chord on its own. First inversion is B, that'll have the middle note in the bass, and then when the last note of the chord is in the bass, we call that C. Now one thing to watch out for, E minor has a raised 7th of D sharps, and so the middle note of chord 5 in a minor key is always raised, so the D sharp will be there for us. So let's have a look at chord A in bar 4. So here we go. So we're looking in the piano part, and we got an A, C, E, A. And so that's going to be chord 4. And we just need to look which was our root note. Our bass note here is A, and so it's chord 4 in the root position, 4A, so you could just put the A there to show that you've spotted that. Chord 4 on its own also means that root position. So bar 7 now for chord B. So here we go, we've got a B, we've got a G, a B, G, B. So we've got chord 1, E, G, B, but now we need to decide which position it's in. So let's look at the lowest note. And so this lowest note here, so let's count an octave up. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8 is a B, an octave lower. And so because the B is the bass note, that's a chord 1, C. It's in the second inversion. So last one, bar 7, again is chord C. So we've got a B and a B again. Now here's our big clue. We've got a D sharp. Let's think what we got here as well. C, B, A, G, F. So we can see that that's a chord 5. That D sharp is the clue. That should point that out to you straight away. So it's a chord 5, and the B is in the bass, so it's chord 5A. Let's have a go at the next bit. So we're asked to rewrite the last two notes of the bassoon part of bar 7. They're marked with a bracket here. It's these two notes here we're after, and we need them to sound at the same pitch, so be careful you don't jump any octaves, but we need to use the tenor clef. So the tenor clef is where middle C is here on the second line down, not to be confused with the alto clef, which is a line lower. So just get that clef in. We need the key signature in, so we need an F sharp. So C, B, A, G, F sharp is here. We have to go lower, otherwise we'd be on ledger lines, and you can't do that for a sharp, for a key signature. And so now we just need to get the notes in. And so here, think where we are in relation to middle C. There's middle C. So we're on the B below that and the D above that. So we're either side of middle C. So we're here and we're here. And then we just need to remember to sharpen that last one to get the pitch just right. And there we go. And so they are quavers, so we'll beam those together, and then let's just finish off and add the staccato marks to match the original. There we go. Next one, let's press on. And so we need to give the technical names of the two notes in the bassoon part marked X and Y. So let's have a look for those. There's X, there's Y. That's what we're going to be looking for. We're in E minor, and so let's just sketch out the scale. If you're not sure off the top of your head, you can always peep at a keyboard. Sketch. Doesn't have to be a work of art, just something to help you. Okay, so bar 4, X, that's a C. We're in the bass clef, so that's middle C. That's a C. And bar 5, Y, is an F. It's an F sharp, but your key signature will take care of that. And so C is the 6th, so we'll call that the submediant. And then F is the 2nd, that's the supertonic, above the tonic. There we go. And then just generally speaking, the question here asks us, which other key has the same key signature as E minor? And if you've already done your circle of fifths, you can see the related keys straight away, and we know that E minor is related to G major. It may be that you know those off the top of your head, but it's still helpful to just have them written down when you've got a lot to think about. So here we go, we've just got some orchestral questions now. The bassoon is a non-transposing instrument. That is true. So, yep, true. The bassoon is a single reed instrument. Now that's not true, that's false. The bassoon and the oboe are double reed instruments, like a subdivision of the woodwind family. And then here we go, the bassoon is a member of the woodwind family of orchestral instruments. So now we need to name a different orchestral instrument that could play the bassoon part. So we're looking for a bass instrument in the orchestra. So if you've chosen strings, you need to be aware of the range of that, and that would be something like the cello would suffice there. And if you've chosen brass, we can't choose woodwind because we need to be a different family, but if you've chosen the brass, that would be the trombone could do that for us, because it's quite, although it's a bass instrument, it's quite high up in the bass. So the trombone's the best choice there. And now, last orchestral question. We need to underline one of these to say which is a percussion instrument that produces a sound of definite pitch. Another way of saying that is tuned percussion. So we need something that we could play a melody on, and so a triangle we couldn't, and castanets we couldn't, the tambourine we couldn't. They are just percussive sounds, they are untuned. The glockenspiel, however, we could play a melody on that. That's tuned percussion. There we go, that's the end of that question. So I do hope that that's been helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be really encouraging to me. I do hope that you're enjoying this, I certainly am. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated, there's lots more to come. And please do visit sharonbale.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's there to help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!